In the quiet corners of our world, there are places that seem to hold their breath. Houses that wear their histories like a shroud, their windows like vacant eyes staring out at the passing years. We are drawn to them, to the stories they keep, and the whispers of those who might remain. Every town has one. The old manor on the hill, the abandoned asylum at the edge of the woods, the forgotten theater downtown. They are landmarks of our collective fear and fascination. We tell their stories around campfires and in hushed tones during sleepovers. But what if the truth behind these haunted walls is not what we think? What if the chill running down your spine has a source more tangible, yet just as unsettling? We are about to expose the one thing every one of these cases shares, a secret hidden in plain sight. You certainly won't hear this on the guided ghost tours. They trade in folklore and fear, weaving tales of tragic brides and vengeful spirits for an eager audience. Their narratives are designed to make every creak a footstep, every shadow a phantom. The experience is thrilling, a safe way to touch the void, but it's a performance, a carefully curated script that omits the more mundane and far more interesting reality. The truth doesn't sell tickets. It doesn't make for a heart-pounding story to tell your friends, but it does reveal something profound about the places we inhabit and the minds we use to perceive them. The classic phenomena are etched into our cultural psyche, doors that slam shut in empty rooms, their violent clap echoing through the silence. Whispers that seem to coil out from dusty stairwells, carrying fragments of conversations that ended a century ago. Phantom footsteps that pace the upstairs hallway when you know you are utterly alone. And of course, the sudden, inexplicable cold spots, pockets of icy air that feel as if someone or something has just passed through. These are the hallmarks of a classic haunting, the building blocks of countless terrifying legends. They feel real. They feel intelligent. They feel personal. For the person experiencing them, the terror is absolute. But when investigators arrive, they aren't looking for ghosts. They're looking for culprits. And time again, they find the same ones. Let's start with the house itself, the very bones of the building. Old, decaying wiring is a prime suspect. In historic homes, insulation around electrical wires can degrade, becoming brittle and frayed. This can lead to arcing, where electricity jumps between wires, creating buzzing, crackling, and even popping sounds that can be easily mistaken for whispers or movement. These sounds are often intermittent, happening only when the electrical load changes, making them seem responsive and intelligent. A light flickers, a strange hum starts in the wall. It's not a spirit trying to communicate. It's a potential fire hazard masquerading as the paranormal. Then there's the building's respiratory system, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, or HVAC. In older structures, these systems are often a cacophony of strange noises. An aging furnace can groan and bang as it ignites, a sound that can travel through ductwork and resonate through walls, sounding like a heavy object being dropped or dragged. Air pressure differentials created by these systems can be powerful enough to pull doors shut or push them open, especially if the house has settled and the doors no longer fit their frames perfectly. Those phantom footsteps? It could be the sound of ductwork expanding and contracting with temperature changes, a phenomenon known as pinking. The house isn't haunted, it's just breathing. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence in any ghost hunt is the EMF meter, a device that measures electromagnetic fields. Investigators get excited when the needle spikes, interpreting it as a spirit's energy. But the reality is that our homes are saturated with EMFs. That faulty wiring we mentioned, it creates powerful erratic fields. So do junction boxes, dimmer switches, microwave ovens, and even the plumbing if it's not properly grounded. High sustained EMFs have been linked to feelings of paranoia, anxiety, nausea, and the sense of being watched. Some researchers, like neuroscientist Michael Persinger, have even theorized that specific magnetic fields can directly stimulate the brain's temporal lobes, inducing experiences that feel spiritual or paranormal. Your brain, bathed in this unseen energy, may simply be creating the ghost itself. The meter isn't detecting a phantom, it's detecting the very thing that's making you feel like there's a phantom in the room. And what about the things we can't hear? Infrasound, or low-frequency sound below the range of human hearing, is another invisible culprit. It can be generated by everything from distant storms and wind turbines to faulty fans and rumbling pipes within the house itself. While we can't consciously hear it, our bodies can feel it. Studies have shown that exposure to infrasound can cause feelings of unease, dread, sorrow, and even vibrations in the chest. One famous study found that a concert hall contained a powerful standing wave of infrasound at 19 hertzes, generated by a new organ pipe. A significant portion of the audience reported strange, unsettling feelings precisely when those notes were played. That overwhelming sense of sadness in the old nursery? It might not be the lingering spirit of a lost child, but a simple, low-frequency vibration resonating in the room. But the physical environment is only half of the equation. The most powerful tool for creating a haunting is the human mind. Add to this volatile mix of environmental factors what psychologists call the power of suggestion. When a guide tells you a room is haunted, that a specific corner is where a dark figure is often seen, you are primed to experience it. Your brain begins to actively search for confirmation. This is a fundamental aspect of our psychology. We are pattern-seeking creatures, desperate to make sense of the world. We connect dots, even when no connection exists. This leads to pareidolia, the tendency to perceive meaningful images or sounds in random, ambiguous stimuli. It's why we see faces in clouds, or in the patterns of wood grain, or in the static of an audio recording. In a dark, creaky house, where you've been told to expect ghosts, your brain will work overtime. A shadow cast by a tree branch swaying outside becomes a lurking figure. The sound of the wind whistling through a cracked window pane becomes a mournful whisper. An ordinary floorboard creak, caused by changes in temperature and humidity, is no longer just the house settling. It is irrefutable proof of a phantom footstep. Your own mind becomes the ghost's most effective accomplice. So if it's not spirits, what is the real story? The real twist, the unifying thread in nearly every case, is found not in paranormal lore, but in the property's history. Not the ghost story, but the human story. When you dig into the archives, into the dusty ledgers and property files, a different kind of narrative emerges. It's a story of neglect. A once proud home left to the mercy of the elements, its structure weakening, its systems failing. It's a story of poor repairs, decades of shoddy, do-it-yourself fixes creating a patchwork of problems, unbalanced floors, ill-fitting doors, and dangerous wiring. And yes, it is often a story of tragedy, financial ruin, illness, untimely death. These are the seeds from which ghost stories grow. A family lost their fortune here, so now their spirits restlessly guard their lost wealth. A child died of fever in this room, so now her laughter echoes in the halls. These tragic stories give the building a powerful emotional resonance. They provide a ready-made narrative that perfectly explains the unsettling physical phenomena caused by the building's decay. The neglect and poor repairs create the strange sounds and sensations. The tragic history gives those sensations a name and a face. These three elements, physical decay, a tragic backstory, and the power of human suggestion, create the perfect storm for a legend to be born. The house groans, and we call it a spirit. The lights flicker, and we say it's a message from beyond. A cold draft blows through, and we believe a ghost has passed by. The legend then feeds on itself. The more people who visit and report experiences, the more powerful the story becomes, and the more primed the next visitor is to have their own experience. The haunting isn't in the house, it's in the feedback loop between the house, its history, and our imagination. So the next time you stand before a place like this, and you feel that primal chill, that sense of a presence just beyond your sight, pause for a moment. Before you look for a ghost, look for the story the house itself is trying to tell you. Look for the wires. Look for the drafts. Look for the old pipes that might be carrying sound from one end of the house to the other. Listen not for whispers, but for the groans of a structure settling under the weight of time. And most importantly, listen to the story people are telling. Not just the ghost story, but the human story beneath it. The story of loss, of hardship, of lives lived within those walls. That is where the real emotional weight lies. Because perhaps the scariest thing is not the idea that the dead walk among us. Perhaps the scariest thing is our own profound ability to create meaning out of chaos. To build elaborate narratives from nothing more than a draft, a faulty wire, and a sad story. The scariest thing is the ghost in our own machine. The truth beneath the haunted walls is a reflection of ourselves, our fears, our empathy, and our desperate, beautiful, and sometimes terrifying need to believe in something just beyond the veil. So by all means, enter if you dare. But know what you are truly entering: a theater of history, psychology, and physics. The performance is about to begin.